Hey there, everybody. It's Rue. Welcome to Rue World Order. And I am really excited today because I have a few things that I want to share with you. It's my holiday break and it's been great for me. I've had a lot of time to visit with family, to visit with friends, and honestly, to really visit with Rue. I don't know if you guys remember this one show that came out. I want to say it came out around 2013, 2014, 2015, round about there. It was called Blood, Sweat, and Heels. It starred Demetria Lucas, Melissa Ford was in it, Daisy Llewellyn, who actually passed away from a rare liver cancer, was in it as well. Micah Hughes was in it. And I really, really enjoyed that when it was on the air. And so I spent some time watching those episodes and kind of living my life through all of these innovative entrepreneurial women in New York. And I have watched a lot of Everybody Loves Raymond. A ton of Everybody Loves Raymond. I find that show very, very relaxing and just super funny and stress busting. I've also cleaned out closets. I have wiped down floors. I have kind of reconfigured my outfits. I've done all that type of thing while I've been on break. I've discovered this fire chicken soup recipe, which I think what I'll do is I'll put it in the community page. Like I'll show you a picture of it and kind of give you my makeshift recipe for it. I was having some little respiratory things, and honey, that soup got me right. And so that's the kind of thing I've been doing on my break. No grand trips. I haven't been really hanging out at any kind of party spots a lot, but I have had the opportunity to see friends. I spent Christmas with my family, and yeah, so it's been a good time for me. It's been a relaxing time for me. And now I'm starting to think more and more about 2025 and what I'm going to do. You'll probably see behind me these vision boards. These are some of my old vision boards, and I pulled them out. Vision boards from 5 years ago. I've pulled them out and taking a look at, hey, what was I thinking back then? What things have come to pass? What I still like to see come to pass to my side. This is actually, oh, ouch, I just stuck myself with a pen. Anyway, this is actually a prayer board, and I'm actually covering up these because these are actual photographs, and I like to preserve people's anonymity. But anyway, and on this prayer board, I have some of the things that I'm interested in terms of my vision. And this, I got together with some friends and did that recently, and have some scriptures that pertain to what I'd like to see. And here's a little flat form of prayers, right? And so that's sort of a new approach for me for vision boards. And so I have a lot of things that I'm working on, just thinking about what my future will be, right? And that's something that I tend to do at this time of the year. And one of the other things that I'm really, really, really focused on for 2025, and this is the focus of why I'm here today, is I want to talk to you about some of the things that I'll be reading this year. One of the main things I'll be reading are my own thoughts. So this is my journal. And when I get up in the morning and I do my devotionals, I really like to write down scriptures and reflections in here. So I will be reading my own thoughts. You cannot get a copy of those. I also have some books that I'm interested in reading. I actually picked this one up at Five Below yesterday. I haven't read a Joyce Meyer book in a very long time, but I used to read a lot of her stuff, and I thought that the advice was really good. I thought it was very down to earth. And I was at Five Below, that little, it's kind of like the dollar store, but it's really the $5 store. And I was there picking up, what was I picking up? I think I was picking up like wrapping paper or something. And I saw this book the other day. It's called Authentically, Uniquely You, and it's by Joyce Meyer. So I'm interested And looking at this book, it says on the back, discover your unique gifts and dare to be different. And I love that. And then her quote on here is, we are all unique and that is good. There is no one else in the world exactly like you. Well, that really appealed to me. So this is a book that I will be going through in 2025. I actually might finish this one. I've started it and it's really good. And I might finish this one before the break is over. Another book that I'm really interested in. Man, I don't see. Oh, I didn't bring it in here. Hold on. I'm actually going to go get that book and come right back. Okay, I'm back. Another book that I'm super interested in reading this year is Make That, Break That. It's by Dave Martin. Dave Martin is known as the number one Christian success culture, the number one Christian success coach in the United States. And I am really interested in taking a look at this book. The little blurb on back says, your personal habits keep you from reaching your ultimate life. Are they aligned with your goals? Are they inhibiting your personal growth? Have they limited your efforts to advance in life? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone. And Dave Martin, America's number one Christian success coach, knows how to help you change that. So I was like, I have a lot of habits I'd love to change. So I'll be reading Make That, Break That by Dave Martin this year. That's on my 2025 book list. Another book is this one. And you probably know that the poet Nikki Giovanni just recently passed away. She holds an extremely special place in my heart. I wrote a book in 2010 called Red Clay Legacy. You can get it on Amazon. And I wrote that book in 2010, and she wrote a review of that book that's actually included in the book. And so I want to read this book by Nikki Giovanni, A Good Cry. And actually, it was here in my pile of books to read prior to her death. And so now with her passing away, I'm even more interested in taking a look at some of these thoughts for her. So I'll be reading A Good Cry by Nikki Giovanni, and it's called What We Learn from Tears and Laughter. And so I really want to spend some time with this in 2025. Another book that I'm super interested in reading is by Alexandra Elle. Alexandra Elle has this book, How We Heal. And How We Heal, there's what it says here on the back. We heal to reclaim our stories. We heal to make space in our lives. We heal to forgive, to release shame, and to move forward. We heal to build community. We heal to manifest self-love. We heal to begin again. And so that's what this book, How We Heal, it's full of anecdotes about healing. It's some of Alexandra Elle's personal experience with the whole concept of healing. And there are also some workbook activities. I've kind of started perusing it, but I haven't really dug into this book because I really want to dig into it with my journal and do the exercises and do a little self-work on some of the areas where I need to heal. And it's kind of a funny story about how I heard about this particular exercise. I am totally addicted to fragrance lately. And a good friend who I kind of consider my perfume guru was telling me about a fragrance, and it's called Heal the Way. And Alexandra Elle is the person who put together Heal the Way, or she's the one who concocted it. And it is a fragrance to remind us of how we're healing. And so it's vanilla and Palo Santo. It's distributed by Sniff Fragrances, which is a beautiful fragrance house I've discovered because of my friend. And so first I use the lovely perfume. I loved the fragrance. And so then I came to the book. So I'll be reading How We Heal by Alexandra Elle. So the next book that I'm really interested in reading is, it's called The Daniel Dilemma. And this book is by Chris Hodges. And it's how to stand firm and love well in a culture of compromise. I'm a fairly conservative person, and a lot of my values probably aren't very aligned in align with our culture, but I feel like I am called to love people, and I feel like I am called to be a light to people. And I'd be curious to hear some of his perspective. It says here, we have real hope we're called to share, but how we share it makes a difference. Christians today face a dilemma in a world that seems to reject everything we believe. How do we walk closely with God without caving into pressure or alienating those we hope to reach? And so I'm really curious to read this book and to see, how what he says aligns with what I believe and how his experiences align with my experiences. So this is a book that I will be reading in 2025, The Daniel Dilemma by Chris Hodges. And I'm assuming he's referring to how Daniel in the Bible was in a culture where his values didn't align with the prevailing culture and what he did. So I'm assuming that that's what it refers to. Another book that has been on my here in my pile forever is by Lawrence Otis Graham, and it's called Our Kind of People Inside of America's Black Upper Class. And so I'm extremely curious to read that. It says here, debutante cotillions, $1 million homes, summers in Martha's Vineyard, membership in the Links, Jack and Jill, Delta, Boulay, and AKAs, an obsession with the right schools, family, social clubs, and skin complexion. This is the world of the Black upper class and the focus of the first book written about the Black elite by a member of this hard-to-penetrate group. Dun, 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 dun. That's how it feels. That feels like it should be a dun, 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 dun. I think you remember there was a show on, I want to say it was Fox, called Our Kind of People, and I believe it was based on this particular book. I enjoyed the show, so it'll be interesting to see how the book and the television show align. I actually am a member of a sorority, and so it'll just be, I'm definitely not part of the Black upper class. I was poor. But it'll be interesting to see how my experiences align with the TV show and align with the book. So I'm really curious to dig into this book by Lawrence Otis Graham. I have a couple more, right? This one is near and dear to my heart. I have dealt a lot this year with issues of anxiety. I've dealt a lot with issues of not so much depression this year, but a lot of issues with anxiety, more than I ever thought I would. I've had physical symptoms because of it, and it was extremely humbling for me. It was extremely painful at times for me, a little bit alienating for me. It kind of got into issues of pride for me because, I'm socialized to believe that I should have it together at all times, right? And that is not necessarily true. It says here, frantic thoughts keep you awake at night. Overwhelming emotions consume you and leaving you feeling powerless to move forward. And you can't help but wonder, why isn't my faith strong enough to handle this? Woo, child. So anyway, I actually heard Chris Hodges speak on his experience with anxiety, and it was so compelling, and it was such a blessing. And so I ordered this book out of the cave, and I'm really curious to hear Chris Hodges' perspective on this issue. There's more. Another area that I am totally interested in is alternative medicine. One of the issues that I have with alternative medicine, some of the practices don't align with my personal beliefs, and so I picked up this book. It's called The Christian Handbook to Alternative Medicine, and it's the options, the claims, the evidence, how to choose wisely. It's written by Donal O'Mathuna, who is a PhD, and Walt Larimore, who is a medical doctor. And so it'll be very interesting to see how I think about this. I have always been a person who is interested in herbal remedies. I can remember being 8, 9, 10 years old and making my mother rosemary tea at night. She would have me boiling rosemary for tea. I've boiled ginger for tea. I've used catnip for sleep. I've used, hibiscus and rose hips when I've needed extra vitamin C. I have used, I've used red raspberry when my iron has run low, and for other gynecological issues. I've used nettles. I have used shepherd's purses. I don't want to call it a lifesaver, but it's been kind of like a lifesaver to me. And so I have some knowledge of herbs, and I've used them mostly as teas. I have used a few tinctures as well. And so I am interested, very interested in this book, and to see, what it can teach me about some alternative medicine practices. It doesn't get deep into herbalism, but it does talk about it to some extent. And so I'll be reading this book this year. Whew, this is like a whole college curriculum. All right, I have a couple more books here. I heard this guy, he actually came to my church to speak. It's Joe Dobbins. And I gotta tell you, when I heard he was coming to speak about, church hurt, my eyes kind of rolled in my head. And baby, this book was really, really interesting, and really, excuse me, not this book, but his talk was really, really interesting and really, really helpful for me. It says, "The people of God hurt you, but the heart of God is to heal you." Written for anyone wounded in a place of worship and unsure how to move forward in their faith, this powerful book is an insightful and honest guide into 8 unique types of church hurt and how to heal from them. Ooh, baby. So I'll be definitely digging into this book, Hope After Church Hurt by Joe Dobbins. And I have one last book I'd like to share with you. And this book came from Five Below as well. And it's, one books fell. Anyway, this book came from Five Below as well. It's called What Are You Waiting For? A Practical Guide to Knowing What You Want and Making It Happen Now. Sorry, I'm a little silly. But making it happen now. And so I thought this would be cool. And this book has a lot of questions in it. So you're asking yourself the right questions. You're identifying your core values. And it has sort of a workbook feeling. And I thought this would be actually, I would probably start the year with Make That, Break That. And this one, What Are You Waiting For? And the Joyce Meyer one. Those 3 will be like my 3 that I start with, just to kind of, give me a feel for how I want to approach my 2025. And so these are my top book picks for 2025. And I am excited about reading them. This tends to be my little reading nook right here. It's soft and it's cushy and the pillows are fluffy, and it's a great place for me to read. And so, yeah, anyway, great to get here before you again. And until later, I hope that you will always be authentically you, because I will always be authentically Ruth. So thank you so much for coming to join me, and I will talk to you later. Bye. See ya.